Ball gets out pretty well, so does Rogers come next to him. Gordon once again to the sideline.
At Fusion Sport, we're all about driving human performance. We develop and support a range of technologies all designed to assist people to be their best. Smarterbase is used by hundreds of elite sporting organisations across the globe, and more recently has been used by the military and performing arts as well.
Our Smarterbase technology has at the heart of it an integrated and connected philosophy. What's different about Smarterbase is that it's truly flexible and self-engineerable. That really puts the power into our customers' hands, and it allows them to use it in unique ways that perhaps we haven't even thought of.
Between ourselves and the rest of the field, but here comes Jemmy Stone.
Connecting your brain and body with interactive games and tests. Why is there no physical activity in today's health physical? Trazer is an holistic technology used to rehabilitate, prevent falls, and improve sport performance. Trazer reports provide you, your clinician, your physical therapist, or athletic trainer objective data to make decisions on your health and performance over time. Measure what matters to change your game. Take the Trazer Challenge. Confidence, growth, connected by Trazer.
What's going on, everybody? Man, Eric Wilson here for the Sports Arena. And tonight I figured I'd give you guys a special treat. You know, every once in a while I have the pleasure, the privilege to be able to bring back some familiar faces to the Sports Arena. So with that being said, you know, there's only really one way to introduce this young lady. She has done so much over the last year and a half that near and dear to my heart, a true friend of the family. Not only is she probably one of the most realest people I know, but this girl is the co-host of the Martine Gramatica Show. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome back to the Sports Arena our girl, Miss Ruth the Truth. What's up, girl? How are you?
Hello. I'm doing great, Eric. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to step back into the Sports Arena and shake things up. I really appreciate you letting me be here on a Monday night to start your week, to kick things off for the week.
It is amazing. Hey, girlfriend, I'm going to let you do you because the world would much rather look at you than look at my face. So please.
And maybe the Cowboys flag behind me. Maybe not.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Checking,
but you know what?
Checking.
You got some support and got some love in the crew. So I'm going to let you do you. Have fun.
All right. Thank you so much, Eric Wilson. And like he said, welcome back to the Sports Arena and happy Monday evening. We made it to Monday night and we have the NBA playoffs going on right in this minute. If you guys want to jump into the chat and give us some updated scores as we go along, because I know the Clippers-Utah matchup is about to kick off. We have the Philadelphia and Atlanta Hawks game 4 wrapping up at this very moment. But tonight's episode, we're going to be strictly talking about what's going on in the NBA playoffs. 2021 has been heating up, and surprising enough, LeBron is not in the playoff talk as of right now, and that's shaking things up for the NBA alone. But before further ado, I'm going to have my other people joining me today. Megan Price from the 806 Sports. Sip for Hoops. How you doing, baby girl? Thank you for joining me on this Monday night.
How are you? I'm doing really well.
And I know that you are also a Cowboys fan, so I got to ask you, I know you rep your Spurs as well, so you must be from Texas, correct?
Definitely. I'm from Amarillo, Texas. It's like the north part of Texas.
Okay, nice. Well, welcome to the show. We have a lot of NBA playoffs to discuss, and we're going to have another person joining us here on the live stream. We have Ty Ray from Say What, Say It Again podcast. How you doing?
Hey, what's going on?
Thanks for joining Ruth the
It's
Truth
so nice
here
to
on a
see
Monday night.
It's so nice to see two beautiful faces up here with mine. I mean, if it was,
Oh, thank you.
if it was up to me,
things up here on this Monday night.
how the show would be every week. Now I'm just messing with you. But
It's the girls
it's nice
take
to see
over.
y'all.
Next, we're going to have John Sheary joining us from Sideline Sports Network.
Sheer. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for the correction, John. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm excited. This Hawks game is it's crazy.
Can you give me an updated score? Do we know it right now at this very moment?
They're up 3 with 49 seconds to go. About 49
Yes, that's
seconds.
definitely been a really interesting series that we're going to get to in just a moment. We also have Believe in the Pac-12 podcast host Michael Caratanudo, my fellow Cowboys fan. Now we got 3 Cowboys fan on a Monday night. Look at that. Taking things up here. And last but not least, we're going to have Alex Fleming joining us here as well tonight from the Florida Sun Review journalist. How you doing tonight, Alex? You working again?
You know I'm a workaholic. Every time you see me, I'm working. By the way, I haven't seen you since the Super Bowl, boo.
Yeah, I know. Been doing a lot. Been staying busy, but I'm glad to be back here on the Sports Arena to join you guys on this lovely Monday night. Shout out to Eric for giving me the reins to hold it down. I hope I do not let him down. But let's get deep into this playoffs talks because it's been insane what we've been seeing unfolding before our eyes. I want to start, since it's going to be wrapping up just shortly. We have the Atlanta and Hawks series going in Game 4. Alex, I want to start with you really quick. What is your take on this series, and is Trae Young going to put the Hawks over the top to be able to defeat somebody like the 76ers, the #1 seed in the East?
I believe the winner of this game is going to win the series. If we had a healthy Joel Embiid, this wouldn't have been close. Joel's not healthy. Ben can't shoot, and that's been a liability. They don't have enough shooters on the floor. Atlanta's hungry. Atlanta's young. I believe when Eric Wilson, Jake Rongholt, and I were covering the Orlando Magic, and we had Hawks games, I told people this Hawks team was going to be dangerous. Why? Everybody's young, everybody's hungry, and everybody came from somewhere where they had something to prove. John Collins, Herter, Bogdanovic. I mean, bro, Trae Young, his whole hair thing going on. You know, him and Doncic are going to be linked forever. But Young is already in the second round, something Doncic hasn't done. They're shooting less than 30% from the three-point line, yet they're up 3 points with, 48 seconds to go?
Yep.
I like the Hawks in this series if they can steal the game tonight.
So if I'm not mistaken, the Hawks are up by 3 at this very moment with just, let me check right now because I actually have it pulled up on a separate tab. It's 40 seconds left, 98. Atlanta has 101. Joel Embiid is on the free throw line right now. But yeah, I want to dive a little bit deeper into that comment that you had made about Ben Simmons being a liability. And I want Megan to come in here so she can give me her perspective on Ben Simmons and the 76ers. Is his free throw shooting going to be a liability? And if it gets down to a Game 7 in Atlanta, is that going to affect the Atlanta Hawks going into the next round?
Game 7 would be in Philly, boo.
It will be in Philly because Philly had the #1 seed, so they had home court advantage. I don't see Atlanta coming out of this series. If they can win this game, I do see them making it a 7-game series, but Ben Simmons is absolutely a liability. I don't think he's going to be a liability in this series. I think it's going to be next series where that shooting comes in and it's a major problem. Not only does he have free throw shooting issues, he also has no jump shot. So whether they go up against Milwaukee or they go up against the Nets, that's going to be a huge problem.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. When it comes to getting into the paint, if Ben Simmons does not have that open lane, that he's going to struggle trying to shoot behind the perimeter. I'm going to bring Ty Ray in here so I can get him his perspective on this Atlanta Hawks 76ers series.
I think it's been, Atlanta has been very fun to watch this playoff series, but I think Philly has too much for Even with Embiid not being, I think, 100%, I still, even with, my boy Ben Simmons, y'all keep talking about his jump shot, and we keep crucifying him for his jump shot, but he does everything else. We're talking about somebody that can guard pretty much 1 through 5 in today's NBA. Outside of probably a big bruising center, but he can guard Trae Young. He can guard anybody on that Hawks lineup. Now, as far as them going to the next round and doing some damage, I can't speak on that. But they'll dispose of Atlanta with or without Embiid at 100%. Now they need him. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah,
I don't think he has to be 100%. Go ahead.
I know that they also have Trae Young that has been nursing a right shoulder injury as well. I see him on the sidelines throughout the game, icing that shoulder. But if the 76ers take care of things in this round, do we see Atlanta returning next season to be in the same type of situation or scenario in the playoffs? Because it was kind of a shock to the world that we were like, Atlanta has the number 5 seed. They're going to the playoffs. What is your perspective on that?
I don't think – well – I picked them to make the playoffs. One of the guys on my show, shout out to my boy Charles McCray. He's seen it. I don't know how he's seen it, but he's seen them being this good. I think Atlanta's here to stay, though. I like Trae Young. I like Bogdanovic. I like a lot of their pieces. Cam Reddish. What's my guy name? Kevin Huerter. I like their pieces. And even with Gallinari coming off the bench. I like this Atlanta Hawks team, and I think they're here to stay. Maybe a piece or two here or there in the future, and I think they'll be Eastern Conference powerhouse for years.
All right, well said. I'm definitely going to get Michael Caratanudo in here for him to give us his perspective on this Atlanta series.
Hi.
They're up by 1 point. I'm so sorry, Mike. I just caught your note that you wanted to go first, but hey, I saved the best for last, so give it to us.
Oh, no, I'm just kidding about that. No, I can't believe he's going to fall out of his chair. I disagree with almost everything Ty said. And Ty and I never agree on hoops because he likes to pick on me, or he tries to pick on me. But anyway,
you kind of make it easy sometimes, Mike. Just saying.
Well, look, having facts and being right, I guess I do make it easy. And being a Cowboys fan, everybody wants to attack anyway. So, but I digress. Ben Simmons can, yes, everybody knows he can guard 1 through 5. Trae Young was like 7 for 22 with like 3 minutes left to go in the game. Yeah, he still had 19 points. But you put a 6'10" guy on him that can go over screens, that can again, Trae Young's going to have to get other guys open. And I'm not saying Atlanta doesn't have scores and can move the ball, but yeah, if Embiid was 100%, I'm with Ty and Alex on that. If Embiid was completely 100%, this may have been a 5-game series. If Atlanta does get this, it ties it up at 2, but still, Game 7 in Philly, I don't see it. Yes, the next round would be an issue. And if you're a Philly fan, to overstate the obvious, you want this game, you need the next game, and then you just pray that Brooklyn and Milwaukee go 7 somehow to get Embiid at least a little more rest, because no matter what, they're going to need him. And I know it cheers Eric's heart too. It makes him smile because I've pretty much been on Philly even after the trade with Brooklyn. I've been on Philly pretty much all year, saying that they can definitely win the East. So I love what Ben Simmons does. The guy's not getting to the NBA if he can't make shots. Yes, he's not the best jump shooter. Is anybody comparing him to Steph Curry? Absolutely not. But when you can guard like that, when you can go above screens and you have the length, you played hoops, you know that. If a guy's 6'10" and he can go above screens, or 6'7", 6'8" with a real long reach and still challenge shots, and a guy can't get a good look, then I'm all for Ben Simmons. I'm with Ty, man. He gets too much abuse.
Yeah, definitely. I think having somebody like Joel Embiid guarding Trae Young is definitely going to kind of put a damper on Atlanta's day. But I almost forgot. We have another individual that's also on the cast tonight, and he definitely wants to get his perspective on this Atlanta series. John, so sorry. I went and butchered your name, and then I almost forgot to ask you this question. Let us know your perspective on the Atlanta series.
Yeah, it's been a cute story for these Atlanta Hawks, but they're overachieving a little bit. Philly's going to take care of him once Embiid gets a little more healthy. Trae Young has had to pass more tonight. He's taken, 26 shots, 23 points. The shoulder's clearly bothering him. He has 18 assists. So he clearly is going to be passing the ball a lot more, which means less scoring for him. Obviously, the offense will go through him, but less scoring for Trae Young. That's not good for their offense when they're already the underdogs. And then even if they tie it up tonight, you're probably going to get, if they go to Game 7, that's 2 out of 3 games in Philly for the best of 3. the rest of the way. The advantage is to Philly, and they're the better team. So it's been a cute story for the Hawks, but the big boys are coming out to play.
And it's been a great story to have Nate McMillan lose his head coaching position with the Indiana Pacers, and then he comes to join Atlanta through the season as they fire their head coach. I want to get Alex Fleming's final word on this Atlanta series before we move on to the next series. By the way, Alex, I just need you to hit the unmute button real quick. There we go. I know that you're hard at working.
Rooster Truth not only stealing hearts, she's stealing people's commentary. I was going to mention, shout out to Indiana for firing a good coach like Nate McMillan. You've had 3 coaches in 5 years, bro? You fired Frank Vogel. That dummy won a cube box, trophy last year for the COVID. And then you fired Nate McMillan, who had the team winning and playing right. And then after he starts playing with Atlanta, 27-11, best record after the All-Star break. And then this clown comes in and can't get Indiana in the playoffs because they get blown out like candles. Good job, Indiana. You're great at getting coaches.
And the Indiana Pacers also fired the head coach that was with them throughout the series because I guess he wasn't meshing well in the locker room, which was, what their perspective of that. But congratulations to Nate McMillan for making it this far with the Atlanta Hawks, and we'll see them next year. We'll see what happens if things don't go well in this series because we are at a game 4. Anybody have an updated score on that game as we speak?
They're in timeout. It's like 8 seconds.
Yeah. Your boy Capella just sold, man. They passed him the ball right under the goal. It went right through his daggone hands.
Sorry, I think Atlanta is still up by 1, but we still have some time left on the clock, so we will revisit that when the game is over. Guys, we're going to stick it to the East, and we're going to go on to the next series that we have going on. I mean, it's been pretty exciting up until we had another injury for the Brooklyn Nets. Kyrie Irving is out with a right ankle injury. He's going to already be ruled out for Game 5. So, Megan, I want to get you in here. The biggest storyline in the East has been the Brooklyn Nets. And now James Harden with a hamstring injury has been out since being in the game for about 43 seconds. And then now we have Kyrie Irving going down, and the Bucks tie the series 2-2. What do the Nets do? And do the Bucks, are they going to take advantage of this opportunity to move on to the next round?
Well, when you look at the Bucks series, they're tied 2-2, and both teams did exactly what they were supposed to do. They won at home. So now we're going back to Brooklyn, and we're full of injuries over there in Brooklyn. So, this is that moment where KD can prove himself. Is he going to be in that same conversation? Like, can he lead a team on his own? A lot of people don't believe that. I personally do believe he can. I think he's going to come in. What he has to do is score 40 plus. And I think he's going to do just that. There were several times during this season when there were 2 injuries going on at a time. Kyrie was out. KD was out. Either it was just James Harden or it was just Kyrie playing. And they still managed to keep the number 2 seed. So I believe that they're going to make it to the next round. I do like Milwaukee, but once they make it to the playoffs, they choke. And I think this is another year for that. I think their problem is head coaching, and we're going to see a new head coach in Milwaukee by the end of the season.
I couldn't agree more. When they were getting blown out I think the Nets had the lead of 49 points at one time in the game. It just seemed like the head coach had no answer to help his team. So definitely might see some changes in the offseason. But I want to get John in here and his perspective on the Bucks series, since I almost forgot him last time. John, let me know what you feel about this Kyrie injury, and do the Bucks have enough to take advantage?
Yeah. So first of all, I got some soft pretzels up in the freezer. They should be sponsored by KD because he's so soft. So, should be sponsored by him. I don't think he can do it. I mean, the guy clearly needs, he was in OKC with James Harden and Russell Westbrook. Got to go to Golden State. Then he's got to go to Brooklyn. This guy needs all the guys. Now all his guys are out. He's got to rely on, Todd Gurley's knees and Blake Griffin. So this guy can't do it by himself. Like, he's going to fold under pressure. He always does. He always got to run to somebody. So I actually think the Bucks have the advantage with these guys hurt. Both guys out for Game 5. It'll go back to Brooklyn, but the Bucks will take that because KD can't do it by himself. And then Game 6 will go to the Bucks too, and Nets' magical little fairy tale season will be over.
Yeah, it's been quite the storyline, and they take all the headlines because they had the three-headed monster with the Brooklyn Nets, but now it's only down to KD, and as John said, he always needs that second person to go to, and he might not be able to depend on somebody like Blake Griffin. So, but I want to get Tyree's perspective on the Brooklyn Nets in this series. Is it over if KD or if Kyrie Irving does not return by the end of the series,
Hold
or
on,
can KD hold it down until a Game 7 to see if James Harden and Kyrie Irving can reunite?
Before I can even answer this question, what the heck is John Shear talking about? That dude,
what you talking about? Todd Gurley's knees and Blake Griffin?
You talking about how is the best player in the NBA soft?
Oh man, that guy's soft, man. Like I said, he's got to be sponsored by like Annie Ann's Pretzels or something like that.
So tell me this. Okay, let me get myself together.
You're doing a great job.
No. What NBA superstar would win with that roster as it's currently constructed with no Harden and no Kyrie?
I think LeBron James could win with that roster.
Man, Bob.
Couldn't win with yours because he got Glass Joe, but.
Man,
there is a lot of backlash on the whole KD situation. I mean, I hear it going around all the time that he joined the powerhouse Golden State Warriors. He's never gonna really live that down. So without another superstar next to him, then there's a lot of doubts coming to KD's way.
Yeah, but outside of Dirk and Hakeem Olajuwon when they won the first title in Houston, who has ever won without a co-star?
Who always goes running to co-stars?
Let me
Alex Fleming, please.
Ahead,
You're it.
All right. First, I got to address what the hell John says because, once I'm going to agree with Ty.
Why is everyone coming for John?
Please bring the heat.
Too. Let me handle John first. Kyrie Irving went down what looked like a dirty play. Giannis didn't have to come in for that rebound and put his leg out.
I didn't want to say it.
Now, with that being said, did you see what Kevin Durant did? Because he scored or assisted on the 18 of the 21 points in the third quarter, saying that he can't hold things down. Bro, he held things down. Let me give you some facts.
He held that L down.
Analytics. Let me give you some facts. When 2 of the big 3 play, they're 11-3. When 3 of the big 3 play, they're 19-6. When 1 of the big 3 play, they're 9-6. Kevin Durant had to do his thing in volume shooting. And I agree, the league is a little bit soft. John Morant said that as well. But, bro, what do you expect? 1, you're on the road. 2, Milwaukee was hungry. 3, Middleton was hitting some shots. That was a straight buck stupid.
He was going back and forth with KD.
And 4, if you didn't notice, the referees were kind of giving some home cooking, some of that special sauce that you give to the teams that are at home. They served up just a little bit. And when Kyrie went down, I mean, damn, it was a buffet. Now, as far as Tyree is concerned, LeBron James can win with that roster. Jimmy Butler can win with that roster. Hell, Luka can win with that roster.
I disagree.
Yeah.
Not winning NBA Finals, no. Not winning NBA Finals, no.
They're not using
Not even close.
Joe Harris is having a bad shooting performance
The
against
only person that ever could have won with that roster is Michael Jordan, hands down. And that's it. A, B, LeBron's not winning with that roster because if we remember everything that got drudged up 4 years ago when Barkley just said, he doesn't want to compete, Alex? I know you remember that showdown because LeBron had to get all personal because he's a mental midget. No, I'm not picking on you, Tyree, because I'm on your team on this with Kevin Durant. First of all, Kevin Durant's like 7 or like, I know you said like 9-8, but like with one of them, but Kevin Durant was like 7-1, they were saying today when I was looking up when he plays by himself.
I don't want to interrupt, but I want to be real. Which one's more talented right now? The Nets roster, including their backups, or the Miami Heat roster with Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero?
The Miami Heat roster that went home.
The Miami Heat roster. What are you talking about?
He didn't say how they performed.
Bro, Bam Adebayo was a shell of himself in that series against the Bucks. And, bro, you need people on the perimeter to guard down low. The Nets have people who can guard him down low. If they ever decide to play DeAndre Jordan, he's pulling the new Scooby-Doo. Where are you?
Yeah.
Exactly. They should play DeAndre Jordan. But PJ, you're talking about guarding people. Well, what's PJ Tucker there for? Because he's out on the wing just beating people up and kicking their ass. So if you want PJ, that's fine. With that roster, I'm just saying LeBron's not winning with it because he'd want more. Pretty much everybody is. The NBA's changed. I don't disagree with your statement, but there's no one superstar, again, that's winning because of – and I'll go off what the Hall of Famer Shaq said. It's the other guys that win it, because him and Kenny got into it the other night with Charles when he said Akeem didn't win it, you didn't win it. Mario Ellie hit that shot. He goes, the other guys win it. The stars are going to do what they're going to do. Robert Horry, yeah. The stars are going to do what they're going to do. They're going to have a bad game here or there. Guys have to pick them up. Obviously, they're deep in the playoffs. It's a deep bench. And I know we're not there yet, but a little preview, team bit of a homer. What do the Suns have that everybody else doesn't seem to have? A deep-ass bench that can actually produce. I'm not saying Brooklyn can't do it. I'm not saying Blake Griffin can't contribute. DeAndre Jordan, I'm with you. Should be playing.
I'm just
the Suns, because the Suns have something that none of the other teams actually have. A damn floor general. Bro,
well, right.
Blake Griffin quit on the Clippers, and he was just collecting paychecks like EBT in Detroit. Harden gave up on Houston to join a super team. Kyrie Irving left LeBron James. That should tell you everything you need to know. And the Tarantula? KD? Yeah, people still giving him beef about those 2 rings that he got with Golden State.
Well, I'm not giving him beef.
So who's better? So answer this question: Who's better than Durant in the league right now? Who's better?
Oh, but besides your boy,
no. Answer the question: Who's better than Durant right now?
Steph Curry
in the NBA.
No,
come on, bro. You gotta stop it.
Better, yeah. Did you watch him?
Man.
Did you watch him carry that?
Steph Curry and
See, here's the problem.
Golden
Time
State
out.
team?
Ty, as much as I like your question, because it's like taking statistics, Ty. It's like making a survey, creating a survey. You can make a survey, show any statistic you want with how you ask the question. In this day and age, even before that day, I'm not saying on a point. I love KD, but if you're telling me if I have to start a team with a young, okay, you're saying like KD right now. Of course, I want KD on my team.
No, I'm talking about everybody as they are right now, at the ages they are right now. You can't
cool.
tell me
You know what? You know who I would take? I take Russell Westbrook.
Oh, you crazy? You can't.
The way he plays every night,
Curry, man.
The way he plays every night.
I got a question. Really? I got a question to throw in. I got a question to throw in here, and I want to go to John first with this one. If you're going to have one of the 3-headed monsters, who is it going to be? James Harden, Kyrie Irving, or Kevin Durant?
Oh, Kevin Durant. I mean, James Harden doesn't play defense, and Kyrie's soft too. I mean, he quit on teams. We don't talk about that. We don't talk about how he quit on teams. The NBA's soft, but I mean, Kyrie quit on teams too. We give KD crap for that, but Kyrie did it too. So
Megan, I want to swing that same question to you. Who would you have? As your one of the 3-headed monsters, who are you taking? Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, or James Harden? Healthy.
I mean, I think you have to take KD. He's the most efficient player in the game. Every single minute he's in the game, he scores a point, and he's in the game for like 40 minutes. So you absolutely have to take him. But I want to say this about Brooklyn. I think that Brooklyn works better when Harden is at the 1.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll just answer right now. I'll keep it short.
Works better when Harden is at the 1.
Yeah.
Harden in Houston, no. But Megan just hit bingo right there, because look, Harden getting to the rim, distributing the ball, not going just playing one-on-one like D'Antoni let him do. I'll take a healthy James Harden, because to Ty's point and Alex's question, who's going to win with that lineup? Well, if Harden's sitting there getting some points and cutting through the lane, there's going to be guys that can hit jump shots that are going to be wide open because of James Harden.
But if they're not hitting, then what?
James Harden
didn't they win a game by 30 without James Harden?
Didn't Houston lose the game because they missed how many threes, Megan?
Oh, they were
wide open. How many threes did they miss?
Harden missed a lot of those.
But that's the thing I'm saying. You can't tell me that a 6-foot guy you would rather have a 6-foot guy over a 7-foot guy that could do everything the 6-foot guy could do. True. You can't tell me you'd rather have that guy. If you're saying that, something's wrong with you.
I'm saying right now, I would rather have James Harden over Kevin Durant.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when y'all said Curry was better than
Curry. He is
Durant. You can't tell me better than Durant. And a 7-foot guy could do everything a 6-foot guy could do. Tell me something.
Curry's a leader. Curry's a leader.
Control, please. I would rather have James Harden over Kevin Durant, because James Harden can seem to find a way to keep his ass healthy.
And
that offense flows.
And not for nothing, James Harden is playing with a chip on his shoulder. And Kevin Durant said it himself. He's not even looking for a championship. That is not a part of his game at this very moment. So we're going to take a quick break. But when we get back, we're going to dive in to the Western Division and get into those series. We'll be right back.
Generations Physical Therapy has been the Tri-State's leader in physical therapy services for over 20 years. And now we have a convenient location right in the heart of the capital city of Charleston, just off I-64. With convenient parking and flexible hours, your access to physical therapy is second to none. Plus, Snap Fitness is also in sight with 2 floors of gym equipment and sports enhancement training through A-Game Sports Performance. So whether you're needing hands-on physical therapy or looking to get results in our gym, our family's ready to help yours. Generations Physical Therapy and Snap Fitness. Multiple services, multiple locations. Experience you can count on.
And we are back with the second half of the Sports Arena. My name is Ruth the Truth, and I am joined with Megan, Alex, Mike, Ty, and John here on a Monday night talking some NBA playoffs. We wrapped up the East. Took a little while. Everybody had their emotions rolling, especially when it came to the Brooklyn Nets talk. But we are moving on to the West, and I want to start with last night's sweep with the Phoenix Suns and the Denver Nuggets. Who would have thought that the Joker, the league MVP, was going to be swept in the second round of the playoffs after the 7-game series with the Portland Trail Blazers? Alex, I'm going to start it with you. If Joker would have not been ejected with a flagrant 2, would the outcome of yesterday's game been any different?
It wouldn't have mattered. First and foremost, when you got goons in the talk section talking crazy, that's why they're not on the show. I speak facts. James stays healthy. And James Harden doesn't need a bodyguard to fight his fights for him. Civilians, that's different. Player on player, that's a punk move. Back to Phoenix and Denver. Bro, if I could use an analogy, Phoenix was Roman Reigns, and they treated Denver like they were Dominic Mysterio. Just threw them out of the ring, bro. They had no business playing the Phoenix Suns. You know what, Michael Cartenuto, I owe you an apology. I was so wrong. You know, Devin Booker, ever since I called him soft, he's just metamorphosized, bro, and just been clowning folks. And let me say this first and foremost. I don't give a damn what anybody on this panel says. It wouldn't matter if Joker got ejected or stayed in the game. Suns and foe. Okay, the Suns been getting their ass kicked on the court, in the stands, in the parking lot, on the percentages, on the shooting. Hell, Chris Paul shot 84% from the field in the fourth quarter in this series. 33 plus turnovers. I don't give a damn what anybody else says. You know what? Now that Orlando trade is looking beautiful, because after they fleeced Denver for RJ Hampton and that draft pick, look for them to move Aaron Gordon in this offseason. Yeah, I said it, and I'll say it again. Denver had no business playing this bad matchup against Phoenix, and I'm loving it.
I'm going straight to you, Michael Caratanudo. Did you take Alex's apology? Is that sincere enough for you? I think he admitted that he's wrong, which never happened. So kind of just bask in that for a little bit.
No, that goes back to our preseason picks because in the Eastern Conference, we were razzing him about picking Chicago, and I picked Atlanta as the last team to get in the playoffs. None of us picked New York, of course, but I said Phoenix would have. Megan, that's right. Megan did pick New York. I said Phoenix would win a first-round game win a first-round series, and then probably bow out in the second round, just depending on. I figured they'd be like 6-7 seed. Never expected the number 2 seed, but look. Well, like I said before, Chris Paul is Chris Paul. I mean, nobody wants to guard a mid-range shooter. I love it. You don't have to get into the lane and chuck it to the three-point line to have a guy build a house. Like, it's ridiculous what he means to this team, but it's rubbed off, obviously, on Devin Booker. DeAndre Ayton finally dunked the ball hard last night. I almost fell over. But their depth, I mean, you look what Cam Payne is doing off the bench, Cam Johnson. Even when Sarge comes in, I mean, you could even, if you need another big guy to shoot threes, he's gone to Frank Kaminsky. And to answer the question about Joker, again, it was the whole series. Yeah, Denver made a run and they were pushing. Malone switched up the starting lineup, put Barton in, which made sense. But the Suns were just deeper. I mean, they outscored them by, I think, 34, 37 points in the third quarter alone all series. The Suns were plus 37. So coming out of the locker room, they're right there. I mean, they made – Denver would make runs, but every time they got somewhat close, the Suns just pulled away. I mean, if Ayton is being physical, setting those screens, I know I get on him for not dunking, but if he's being physical, setting those screens, it's going to open Booker up. Paul will sit there and hit the mid-range because nobody's going to guard him, and he's just going to hit it. So, I mean, look, they're looking good no matter who they play. I know we're going to get to the other series. It'll be tough, but – look, they were 3-0 against the Jazz. I know Ayton, if he can bang around with the Joker, he can definitely bang around with Gobert.
Yeah.
And Donovan Mitchell's health there. And then with the Clippers, I mean, obviously Kawhi worries you because he is the best two-way player in the game. Like when he wants to lock somebody down, he could take one person out of the game. So, but either way, what the Suns did, it was just, I mean, Chris Paul. Look, everybody was Suns fans there were chanting MVP every time he touched the ball, kind of rubbing it into Joker. And I'm not saying Joker didn't deserve it, but Chris Paul finishing where he did in the MVP, not that he needed any more fuel, but I think it just gave it to him.
Megan, I definitely want your perspective on Joker's ejection yesterday, and how do you think the Suns are going to match up in the Western Conference Final, whoever they play?
Well, it definitely wasn't a flagrant 2, in my opinion, maybe a flagrant 1. I don't think it was intentional. I don't think it was any of that at all. I don't see Joker being that type of player. He was frustrated with the play. Now, his ejection, I absolutely do think could have changed this game, but I don't think it would have changed this series. Also want to talk about the Barton block that he had as well, that they ruled was a foul. And to me, it looked like all ball. So in this entire series, I felt like the refs kind of gave Denver a hard time. There were some bad calls, but the Suns have too much, just like Mike was saying, like their bench depth is something else. Crowder has stood out in this series. Ayton had an astronomical series as well. And I mean, you just can't say anything else other than CP3's performance in game 4, 37 points, 7 assists and 3 boards. I mean, he never gets boards and, and so he was still
That's
made
true.
it in the lane. Right. And, like his interaction with the crowd, him and Book's interaction with the crowd afterwards, like I think that just said it all. Like they were so happy to be there. They wanted it more. Denver's injured. And I think it might be time for a coaching change in Denver. There were rotations. Now, I don't think he's out. I think Malone is still there because he can lean on the injuries. But had they been healthy, I still don't think they would have came out on top in this series. And I think Malone would have been out. There were a lot of rotations that I did not like. There was a lot of matchups that I didn't like. So it is the Suns' year. They're rising at the right time. But, I expected more out of the Nuggets than this.
Yeah, absolutely. I was not expecting a sweep. I know that the Denver Nuggets are without Jamal Murray, one of their all-star players, but to be swept that way after naming your the Joker the league MVP, it was a bad way to go out. And I definitely want to bring John in here so John can give me his perspective on what happened with Denver.
Yeah, Denver, I mean, going into this series, they were just outmatched without Jamal Murray. I mean, you need Murray just to have a chance. Like Megan said, I mean, even if they had Murray, they probably don't win this series anyway. They probably lose in 6. But, I mean, it at least gives them a shot with a guy like Murray. I mean, you can't lose one of your best players. Aside from Joker, he's probably your best player. And, you know, you lose that guy. That was basically their season right there. So, I mean, the Suns are just playing really well. But, you know, CP3 always falls apart somewhere around here. So, you know, this would be the Houston CP3 that we'll see in the conference finals. He'll fall apart. I'm just waiting for that hamstring.
Oh my God.
That is quite the take, John.
Yeah, he's going to pull that hamstring, come up limping game 2.
The hamstring and then the shoulder. But I will say, I'm going to disagree with you in one part. I think Jamal Murray, if he would have played for the Denver Nuggets, then it probably would have been a different story. Tyree, give me your perspective on the Denver Nuggets.
I think even if Jamal Murray plays, they still losing 5 or 6. I just find it weird that Jokic, the league MVP, could need Jamal Murray, but Kevin Durant can't have nobody. That's a little weird to me. But I mean, with me, man, you know, that last part of what John said is somewhat true. I mean, I love Chris Paul. I'm a big Chris Paul fan. Chris Paul's from North Carolina. I'm from North Carolina.
Well, there you go.
Probably about 2 hours away from me. But I mean, man, like he's let me down in the past with the injuries. You know, they were up on Golden State 3-1. He got hurt. Even last year in the first round, I thought they should have beat I can't even remember who they played in the first round. I can't remember at the top of my head right now. But I thought they should have beat whoever they played in the first round. And I know at the end of the game, he really had some opportunities to close it out. But there's a couple turnovers and a missed mid-range that he makes 9 out of 10 times. But, you know, I really do. I'm going to stick with what I said originally. I picked the Clippers to be in the NBA Finals. I picked the Clippers versus the Nets. That Nets pick is looking real shaky right now with no Kyrie and no Harden. But, I mean, I've always stuck to what I picked. I think it's going to be the Clippers. I would love to see the Clippers match up with the Suns. I think it will happen. I don't trust Utah. I've been telling Megan that.
Can we give
all
Tyree a
season.
round of applause for sticking with LA? Just for sticking with LA. I mean, those.
No, I'm not. Nah, that's not the case. I mean, that's not the case. It's just. I look at it like this, man. I feel like when it goes down with Utah, you got Donovan Mitchell that can make shots, correct? Mm-hmm. But you really don't have anybody else that can really. I mean, Bogdanovich is going to hit, but you really don't have anybody else that can create their own offense. When I look at the Clippers, I know y'all going to trash Paul George, but he's actually playing good this series. He's averaging 26 points, right around 7 rebounds, and probably like 5 assists. I mean, he's playing good. You can't all that way off P, all that pandemic P, all that crap. I mean, he's playing good, man.
He is playing good. Hey, Ruth, I just want to ask, like Megan and everybody else, a question too. Look, I don't think Jokic is a dirty player either, but by the rule and the rest, and when they were reviewing it last night, the wind up and the follow through and jacking a guy in the face. So I'm not all for Joker getting thrown out because I'm with Alex. I wanted the Suns to beat him. I wanted them to sweep him with him on the court. That being said, if it was Campazzo or Barton or somebody that did that, do you think that it would have been easily ejected? Because I think Joker deserved to be ejected. I don't think he's a dirty player. If I jack any of you guys in the face, like.
Fact, LeBron James ejected. No, LeBron James.
If it was LeBron, Durant, or anybody like that, they wouldn't have got. But they wouldn't have got ejected.
And then, if anybody caught that flagrant one by Ben Simmons in the Atlanta Hawk earlier, it kind of looked very similar. There was a little bit of a wind up. It didn't look intentional, but it happened. I don't agree that the Joker should have been ejected, but I will say I do not think it would have made a difference in the series. They could have possibly won. Maybe, but I don't know. The Suns are rising at the right time.
To respond to that, that's the problem with the NBA. That's the problem I've always said with the NBA and pretty much all sports, because this is what I can't stand. Even like I love Reggie Miller as an analyst. When I hear him say, "Oh, that's a regular season foul," If I foul you in the first game, Tyree, and it's a foul, and I foul you in the 82nd game and it's a foul, and I do that same foul in the playoffs, but I'm not getting called for it, that's where the consistency goes. So Joker wound up. He hit him in the face. It's not like Campaign split his face over to get it in. And if LeBron James wouldn't have been thrown out, I would have – look, I say till this day, I'll wrap it up on this. If I'm Draymond Green, I'm a grown man, and you step over me like LeBron James stepped over me, and I knew I was going to be ejected for the next game, I'd have grabbed LeBron hockey style, clocked him in the nose if I'm Draymond.
And that's the reason why.
We're not all talking over it was probably his reaction to after he did the flagrant one. Everybody knows it was a flagrant one. It was not a flagrant two. After Booker approached him about it, and Joker was like, "What you gonna do? You gonna sweep us off the court? You gonna embarrass us on national television like you have been doing?" It was his response that got him kicked out of the game. Take it how you want to. Denver.
Yeah, I mean, emotions.
Why wasn't Booker reprimanded for grabbing Joker like he did then?
He got a T. He got a technical foul. They said it on the broadcast. Kevin Harlan said he got a technical.
Okay.
Right. So we're gonna leave it there because we're gonna move on. The Denver Nuggets are bye-bye for the rest of the playoffs, and we will be seeing them return next season. But we're gonna jump into this Clippers-Utah matchup because it's been a great start. I'm a huge Clippers fan and definitely want the Clippers to go all the way to the NBA Finals. So we definitely need to take advantage and tie it up against the Utah Jazz tonight. Megan, is it gonna happen? Tell me what I want to hear.
I do think they're going to tie it up tonight. As much as I hate to say that because I am not a Kawhi fan, I'm a Spurs fan.
Oh yeah, okay.
I understand.
I got to keep it in San Antonio, so I'm definitely going for the Jazz right now. I'm a huge Donovan Mitchell fan anyway, so I think the Clippers tie it up tonight though, and I think this series goes the distance. I think we're going to see 7 games, but I think the difference is going to be, is Kawhi going to show up in the same fashion that he showed up in game 3? If you look at game 1 and game 2, he had 23 points in game 1, 21 points in game 2. I'm telling you, I watched his entire career that he played for San Antonio. He can do more than that. He needs to lead better than that. The problem is not PG. The problem is the point production that's coming from Kawhi. Now, if he does what he did in game 3, where he had 35, 5, and 12, 34, 5, and 12, then they definitely win the series. And then I also want to shout this out. Phoenix is 3-0 against Utah. So if we get that final series, wow. Phoenix, I think we're going to see Phoenix in the finals.
And that's
John,
what makes the sip all.
Queen of the hoops over here, but I want to hear what John's got to say about this Utah Jazz and Clippers matchup. Did PG-13 show enough in last game that he's going to be playoff P, or are we going to deal with a Kawhi situation where we're kind of going to depend on him and everything that he can bring to the team?
Well, the Clippers are the Clippers, first of all, so they'll find a way to blow it. Just like they're like the Browns, the Jets, teams like that always find a way to mess it up. So don't worry, the Clippers will find a way to mess this up. You got Paul George. He likes to let you down. Whenever you think he's playing well, like Ty said, he finds a way to let you down. That's Paul George for you. So Utah has a home field advantage, home court advantage. So they ultimately have that even when the Clippers win tonight. They're up 17, I believe, right now. So they'll probably win that game. But Utah has the home court advantage. 2 out of 3 basically is what they're going to get. So Utah's a better team, and they'll show it. I mean, good for the Clippers. They got Kawhi, but Paul George, he always finds a way to let you down. So I just can't trust it. I mean, Kawhi's got to do it on his own.
And I'm a huge believer of Kawhi. I know Megan Price isn't much of a fan. I totally understand with the San Antonio Spurs situation, but Kawhi won a championship with almost every organization that he's been a part of.
You ain't got to remind us Heat fans. You ain't got to remind me that.
I don't down his talent. You will never hear me say he's not talented or he's not everything that he is. But in this series and in the playoffs and really even in the regular season, Kawhi was not consistent. And I literally watched every single game he played for San Antonio, and he can do better than what he's doing right now. Now, if he does game 3, then he proved me wrong.
Alex, I'm swinging it to you.
I'm going to come with a different perspective. You see, that's why people on the sidelines are saying things in the comment section. That's why they're on the sidelines. Can you tell me the last time the Clippers have been to the Western Conference Finals? Just the Western Conference Finals. Not the championship, just the Western Conference
Did they
Finals.
get there with Blake Griffin and crew, or no? Did they ever get there with them?
No, they never went.
What they've ever done is the second round. So when somebody in the comment section by the name of Avery says something stupid and slick and wants to say I'm drunk, that's when I gotta call you out because you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Just like football, but that's a different story. Number two, the problem isn't Kawhi. The problem is the point production that they're getting from the guards. Donovan Mitchell is lighting these cats up, and they are not responding. Can you give me somebody on the offensive side of the ball for the Clippers at the point guard position or the guard position that can rival Neil?
Have you not seen Reggie Jackson is doing?
Reggie Jackson has been one of those players that's been able to step up for the Clippers.
Most of the points coming from the Clippers have come from down low at the forward or center position, and 50-50 from Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson is a liability on defense. So when Donovan Mitchell is slicing through the defense like butter and Rudy Gobert is protecting the paint, it makes it difficult to run the offense. Ty Lue is not the coach I want in situations like this against Quinn Snyder, who's about to have a 500 record in the playoff. The Utah Jazz are a better team, head and shoulders. But just like Ms. Sipoff said, when the Jazz get rid of the Clippers and they face those Suns, expect the Suns to beat them in 5, maybe 6 games.
All right, so I mean that kind of answers my question. I wanted to know who would be a better matchup against the Phoenix Suns. Who would give them a better run for their money, the Utah Jazz or the Clippers?
I'm going to pull a line from Alex's book. It doesn't matter. The Suns are going to beat whoever they play. That would be my
doesn't matter.
answer.
Suns in 4.
No, Ty, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Ty, you know I'm kidding. I think,
It
look.
doesn't matter what they think.
Jordan Clarkson, to me, though, could be the key, though, off the bench, because what he's doing off the bench for Utah this series, again, has been huge. But when you look at the Clippers scoring, Reggie Jackson is third on the team in scoring for the Clippers. Kawhi's averaging over 30. He's going to do what he does. I see what you're saying, Megan, and that sounds like a spotted, but I'm not bitter or anything with your feelings towards Kawhi but I'm not bitter. But no, I would say either way, look, it's both going to be a tough matchup. It's a Western Conference Finals. Going 3-0 against the Jazz kind of worries me again, like I said, because Jordan Clarkson coming off the bench to me is the thing. Now the Suns, again, Cam Johnson proved that he can hit shots. And I feel bad. We're talking about all these other guys. I didn't even mention Jay Crowder. I mean, he D'd up on LeBron. Not that he stopped LeBron. I'm not saying that, Ty. But, I mean, he stayed in his face. He didn't back down from him. And I think in the end it frustrated LeBron. Could Jay Crowder do that to Donovan Mitchell? I don't know if he could hang with Donovan Mitchell. So it would be very interesting. I mean, personally, I'd like to see a Clippers matchup. Just so the Clippers, get to the Western Conference Finals and boo a Clippers and lose to take a page from, I guess, John's thing there to do a Clippers and lose. But either way, I think it's but I said this from the beginning of the season, and Megan and Sean and Alex and back this up. Whoever comes out of the West is winning it all. I mean, I know the trade was awesome for Brooklyn. Whoever comes out of the West is going to win it all.
And the Clippers have been lucky to not have Mike Conley because he's been out with that injury. So I want to bring it to Ty real quick. Does Mike Conley kind of end the series for the Clippers if he returns?
It depends on what Mike Conley you get. If you get the Mike Conley from earlier this year, he helps a lot. If you get the Mike Conley from last year in the bubble, it doesn't help. He didn't play very good in the bubble last year. But I do want to attack a few things. First of all, my guy is saying, I'm trying to wrap my head around what he said. I can't remember. I had something to say. But my guy is talking about Clippers doing Clippers things while wearing a Miami Dolphin jersey. That's enough. Let me move on to the next person.
Look, man, we don't get to the playoffs.
I mean, I'm just saying, bro. Y'all
don't get to the playoffs.
Y'all won a Super Bowl when I wasn't even alive, bro. We're not even gonna talk about that. All right. So next person. Next, Alex says that the guards aren't giving any production. In game 2, Reggie Jackson, 29 points. Last game, 17 points. And when we watched the game, Reggie Jackson, every time earlier in the game, Kawhi wasn't doing nothing. In the first half, Kawhi wasn't doing jack. It was Paul George. It was Reggie Jackson. Every time Utah made a little run, Reggie Jackson hit a big shot. And let's not forget, the Clippers were up big in game 1 and lost. They were up like they're up now. And they lost. I mean, they came back, they lost, whatever. But I will say this, one thing the Clippers do need to keep in mind, if they go down 0-2, I think they'll win this series. If they go down 0-2 versus the Suns, they're not coming back from that. they got to stop shooting themselves in the foot. They got to stop digging these big holes, going down 0-2, going down 2-1, whatever, going down in series and having to dig and claw their way back up because they're using so much energy. That's why they kind of came into the Utah series dead.
That's what happened with the Dallas Mavericks. The Clippers were down 0-2 and they had to claw their way back into winning that series, and they might not get lucky against a team like the Utah Jazz, who's had the best record in the NBA the whole entire year. John, I want to wrap things up with you with this series. What are your thoughts with tonight's outcome?
My thoughts on tonight's outcome?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, even when the Clippers win tonight, ultimately, that's best 2 out of 3. And Jazz, if it goes 7, I mean, Jazz have, Game 5 and Game 7, in their home court. So all they got to do is win Game 5 and Game 6. Even if they lose that, they get Game 7 at home. So that's why ultimately I think they'll win. Plus, like I said, the Clippers they rely heavily on Kawhi. And you never know what Paul George you're going to get. Like Ty said, with Mike Conley, you never know what Paul George you're going to get. You might get the playoff Paul George. You might get, pandemic Paul George. So who knows what you're going to get out of him.
Well, so far I'm happy with the Clippers' performance. Right now, there's 10 minutes left in the second quarter, and the Los Angeles Clippers are up 35-14. Utah has only scored 14 points so far this game.
So far, it looks like it's going to be the Suns versus the winner of the Milwaukee Bucks Nets series. Joel Embiid is not healthy. Atlanta doesn't have the experience. If the Nets can get healthy or get one of the big three back to help out Durantula, then I can see them getting past Milwaukee. If Milwaukee beats the Nets, they got rid of the evil villain. They pulled a Kill Bill. They got rid of the problem. Everybody else after that is easier. Philadelphia isn't healthy. Atlanta doesn't want that smoke. And if Milwaukee can face the Suns, we can actually have one of the original champions. Now, Milwaukee already has a championship, for those who want to call me out. Can you remember the last time they won it? Yeah, they had Lou Alcindor.
In the 70s, yeah.
The NBA has done an excellent job in getting a fresh champion in this year of 2021. And I'm so thankful, God baby Jesus, that LeBron James, Steph Curry, and none of them boys are in the championship.
9 pound, 6 ounce baby
I'm glad
Jesus,
you bring that up, Alex, because I wanted to kind of ask everybody their individual perspective on that. Do you think it's helping the NBA with their ratings not having Steph Curry and LeBron James in the finals?
Well, they're up 32%.
I've always despised that thing.
That's big numbers. That's big numbers.
It is. It is. But I've always despised that question, not you, Ruth, but when people ask that question or I hear it on shows and like, oh, it's not good. I want the best teams there. Like, I know it was, before the season, before they got going last year, I went Bucks Clippers in the final because I thought Giannis and then they could get over the hump, and then the bubble changed it up a little bit. If they didn't shut the season down, I think the Bucks would have rolled. But I wanted Bucks Clippers. I want like the best teams. This whole people watch this and that. I know just as many people that hate certain teams that aren't going to watch just because they're like, I don't care, my team's on it and I hate that team, I'm not going to watch. And the bigger the teams are, the more haters, as Ty always likes to say, everybody's hating. But the bigger the teams are, the more people are hating and they're not going to watch. I mean, a casual fan might, but I'm all for it. I love it.
But Mike, you know how it is though. When it's a bit like, I'm just going to use this person as an analogy. People don't like Floyd Mayweather, but the people that don't like him are going to watch him box, and the people that do like him are going to watch him box. People that don't like him are going to watch him hoping he wins. People don't like LeBron, but they're going to watch him. But I mean, the ratings are up 32%. It's great. I think we'll have a champ. If the way it's looking now, we'll have a champion that's either not won or ain't won, and like Alex said, in a long time. So I think it's great for basketball when different teams win, give those fans the opportunity. You know, when you can get when you can get different teams championship. You know, nobody wants to see the Spurs, the Lakers.
Hey.
I mean, I mentioned us too. You know, people get tired of seeing us win, Megan. It's not our fault. People get tired of seeing us win.
Don't forget about the Celtics. Don't forget about the Celtics.
Hey, they some haters, Mike. They some haters.
Megan, now that you hear that the ratings are up 32%, which is a really big number, it's kind of astonishing. What do you think? Yeah, what do you think is the reason that's going into such improvements? Anything?
I think that, you know, the topics that they touched on, like, it's just fresh faces. New fans get to be able to put their iron in there, and that's great. You know, like I would love, and also I would love to see CP3 catch a ring. I would love it. He's had an incredible career, and the one thing that has been missing from his roster is a championship. So now he can shut them up with that, or possibly. But
Pardon me, Ms.
one
Price.
point I want to touch on real quick. Y'all are talking about Embiid is not healthy. I know he's not healthy, but you know what he scored in this entire series? 39 points in game 1, 40 in game 2, and 27 in game 3. So it is not affecting him like that.
My apologies, Ms. Price. Hey, Charles McCray, I saw your comment. And tell Milk Dud I ain't running from him. That Milk Dud boy had nothing to say to me when Tampa Bay won the Super Bowl. And we're running back to back. Oh, by the way, tell him a conscious debate is when he allows other people to talk. Because screaming is not debate. I don't debate clowns or monkeys. Get his ass together, get your act together, and come see me. Because I ain't running.
Well then, very, very interesting topics, guys. I really appreciate you.
Ruth, real quick, I will say this, ratings wise, in Arizona, though, the one thing that is true, no matter what, even like football can be king, but the Suns are the state's baby. Like, they were the first professional sports team, and they're, you know, insane battle, like, you know, with the Celtics way back in the, like you're saying, when the Bucks went in the 70s. Like, if the Suns are winning, it is a bandwagon play. I will say that there, but other sports are bandwagon. But when the Suns are winning, like the Valley, just in general, like people will always watch the Suns.
Yeah, and I want to say that about the New York Knicks as well. I mean, that's such a huge market.
He will get a career over. Get your boy. Get your boy.
Hey man, like I said, bro, it's a lot of smack talking. You know where we at every Tuesday at 8:30. So it is what it is. We know where y'all at.
What? All right, Alex, you had about 24 hours to prepare for that one. Not that you need it. Well, thanks so much, everyone, for joining me on the Sports Arena on this Monday evening. Thank you, Eric Wilson, for allowing me to guest host tonight. I had so much fun talking NBA playoffs with Megan, with Alex, with John, with Ty, with Michael. It's been great. Everyone have a great night, and we'll see you soon.